If you are just getting started with Adobe Commerce or Magento 2, you might be a little bit bewildered as far as where to start and how to get traction. Usually as we start out, we're given a project or a task on our team. Hey, fix this or build this out. Well, then we do a search, maybe we refine that a little bit more. And then we come across a website like Stack Overflow, Magento, and Stack Exchange. We get the answer that we're looking for. We go, we implement this answer. I get it. Stack Overflow is the best, the easiest way to find answers. Why does it seem like I'm kind of dissing all over Stack Overflow? Well, because those answers on those message boards are not vetted. Anybody can upload a question or an answer, and thus it seems like the right answer. It might not be the right answer, it just might be that this solves some people's problems even temporarily. In reality, it could be completely wrong. And just to be clear, I've seen plenty of these answers. So these 6 different locations for Magento training will revolutionize your capability to solve problems. Let's start with number 1. No other place than the Adobe Commerce documentation. The problem is that when we're searching for a specific solution to a problem, we often find Stack Overflow because the content on Stack Overflow is, here's the problem, here's the solutions. Adobe Commerce documentation, or the Magento doc, or it used to be called the Dev Docs, requires us to think of, okay, I'm having a problem in this specific area. How do I solve it? And ultimately, I would agree that it's probably even a little less tuned to problems, and it's a little more tuned to specific areas of knowledge. So for example, if we're having trouble with the catalog or we're having trouble with plugins, well, there are articles for those different subjects in the Adobe Commerce documentation. So that's number 1. Take a look at the Adobe Commerce documentation. Number 2, though, is Adobe Experience League. What's the difference between our documentation and Experience League? Adobe Experience League is all about providing best practices and tutorials. It's kind of like training, whereas the documentation area is more about information about specific subjects. So it's like reference material versus training and best practices. Go to Adobe Experience League, browse through that. Just do that on occasion. It's pretty interesting stuff in there, some good stuff. I highly recommend doing a review of that. Now, number 3 may or may not come as a surprise to you. Number 3 is the Magento 2 source code. I highly, highly recommend that you become intimately familiar with this source code. Now, this might seem pretty daunting, and I understand as a beginner or junior developer, starting into this would seem very daunting. But hear me out. The Magento 2 source code is this key to unlocking the Magento platform. Why is that? It is line by line knowable. The idea here is twofold. First, we want to get a picture for how things work. Okay, what is the general list of modules that are available here? How can we begin compartmentalizing problems into different parts of Magento? How can we boil down different domains of knowledge? I liken this to an internal graph or internal diagram of the Magento platform. We store it internally here. It's even if we were someone was to draw it out, it'd be kind of still difficult to understand. So we have these different buckets, and we say, oh, well, this problem fits into this bucket. Well, this bucket is actually like a module. So here's an entry point. Here's where what I'm going to go figure out about this. And so the Magento source code is a really good way to learn, to get in, to become familiarized. So I said number 1 was to compartmentalize these different aspects of the source code. Well, the second part of this is while you're looking at a class, see what other methods are available, especially for repositories, which is a more or less a standardized, well, it's not even really standardized. It's a way to access or manipulate data. And then it's kind of like a front to that. And then there's other components that behind the scenes work there. Anytime you see repository or management in the class name means that there's probably other areas that are useful that might or other methods in it that might be helpful. So again, that will save time in the future as you're fixing a problem, building something else. Oh wait, I remember there might be another method in there that's available. Or hey, as you're building something out, if you think another way to do that. Number 4 is, guess what? Yours truly. Yes, SwiftOtter. We've helped a lot of people. We've honestly, I think we're getting close to 10,000 people that we have helped through the course of my career. I'm really excited. I love being able to help people. We have lots of resources, getting better, getting certified. Obviously, I view certification as like the way to prove your knowledge. And even better than that is we have the SwiftOtter trained badges. So it's trained by SwiftOtter. Once you get a course, you get certified, and then you get a badge that you can proudly display on your LinkedIn profile. So yes, highly recommend SwiftOtter for your Adobe Commerce or Magento training resources. But there's a few more great options here. Mark Schust, M.academy. Fantastic domain name, by the way. That's really good. Mark Schust has a good number of courses, all the way from getting started to, especially he's focused a lot on front-end development. And he has some really good courses about these subjects. Well-researched, well thought out, and I definitely recommend his courses as you continue your journey. As you go through these, your intuition is going to be sharpened, and you're going to come across a Stack Overflow article, and you're going to be like, oh no, that is precisely the wrong way to do it. And that's what it's about. It's about sharpening these intuitions, and you become a better developer. So number 5, M.academy, Mark Schust. Again, great guy, great programs that he has put out. And then finally is Max Pronko from Mage Mastery. He has a good number of courses about Magento and getting started. He has a payment course as well. Very active also on YouTube, so has a lot of great videos and tutorials there on YouTube as well. So I hope you found this list helpful and inspiring, because becoming an expert on the platform is not something that happens overnight. It takes a significant amount of time, but the results are well worth it.